Yeah, you're recording, Professor.
All right, so this particular week, I'm going to show you how to use tissue paper to make collages or to cover something. And it's a very versatile material. I don't think it's particularly, shall we say, archival. You wouldn't want to put anything you make out of tissue paper in the sun for any length of time because I think the tissue paper will fade. However, for something like an art project in school, it's fine. And if you keep it out of the sun, it'll hold its color pretty well, especially if you coat it with something. So there are many, many artists who actually use tissue paper. They'll build up a texture on either a masonite board or a canvas or something like that. And then they'll let it dry and they'll work into it with a Sharpie marker or with paint. And it kind of becomes this background. You can go online and find a lot of it. And there's also just a lot of samples and examples of children's art done this way. So I've done a lot of mixed media workshops in my past. This is one thing that I did, and it does have tissue paper in it, but it also has textural painting, and it's like a little mini picture frame. So I'm going to show you today how to make a picture frame. We're going to do a slightly bigger one because you have the larger cardboard in your packet. And then I thought I'd start and work on a box. And then I thought I would show you a simple way to work just on paper, 2-dimensionally or 3-dimensionally. And you'll see in the lesson plan, I go over how you can use those paper mache boxes you can see at craft stores. You can really put tissue paper on pretty much anything. It'll stick to a lot of things. You can also, if you don't want to use what we're going to use good old Elmer's mixed with water. You can use something called Mod Podge. And Mod Podge is especially made for collage. But since I didn't have that in your packet and didn't ask you to buy it, we'll just use Elmer's Glue All. So, so my 3-dimensional object is going to be this box, which I painted with the white acrylic that you got. It does work better to start with something clean, although if you wanted to have some color here, but part of the joy of this is to show color mixing and what happens when you put one color over another. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is show you ripped paper. And helps to have a lot of different colors. I know in your packet, I did try to give everybody all kinds of different shapes and colors. So you can cut, sometimes the cutting is a little too planned. And so we're going to just get some, I'm gonna get some shapes going here. Get prepared to see what's gonna happen. It's a very organic thing. Now, obviously, if you want to plan this, you can have an idea ahead of time what exactly you're doing or what color combinations you're going to want to try. But for my money, I'm just going to do something random. If you have any tissue paper at home of other colors, go for it. I think art stores will sell. I think it's called Spectrum. It's a special kind of paper, and it comes in all kinds of shades, and you can kind of get that. So I do not use the Elmer's straight out of the tube. It's a little on the thick side. So I've just put some Elmer's in my little Meow Mix cup, and I did give you 1 or 2 Meow Mix cups because I find them incredibly helpful, and I didn't think all of you might have cats. I've noticed lately at the grocery store, the Meow Mix is gone every time I go to the grocery store, so I have to stock up on it. I'm just going to put a teeny bit of water in just to cut it down to make it a little more liquid. This is why I may want to put gloves on for this. I may not. Let's just see how bad things are. It's going to be a little runnier. So I'm not going to do the thing of showing the children how I want to be able to hold it over my head. Nope, 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 nope. I'm going to start on an edge and go around. So this is pretty much paint as you go. I'm going to put this on. I have a nice little layer on there, and then I'm going to very gently put an over layer on. Oh, I couldn't leave it like that, but I'm not going to. In fact, here, let me just move that. And I'm going to want this box to close. So I got a gift in this box, and so it just seems like it's such a perfect thing to recycle. Let's see. Now, the tissue paper will disintegrate if you over brush. So I have waiting in the wings for me just in case, a softer brush. But I pretty much start with a glue brush, which is what I'm using now. And so this way you get to see what happens when yellow goes over an orangey color. You get yellow-orange. No surprise there. And you could do something with warm and cool colors if you wanted. That could be part of your shtick if you thought that was something of interest. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so the pink over the yellow changes a little. You'll see it when it dries better, but this might do it a little bit more. Let's try what happens when we put the yellow over the pink. That's when you get a good orange, like so. So I think you kind of can get the idea that this is just a slow building up. It's kind of intuitive. Now, one thing that absolutely drives me to distraction with tissue paper. So please don't think this is going to be a good idea, because I'll just break out into hives if you do it, is this thing. Because a lot of teachers love the following. Oh, let's crumple it up and stick it on like that. They'll do things like that with like blossoms on a tree or something. I just think that is so hideous. So please don't do that. Okay. Save my mental health, because, it's been a difficult year for all of us. All right, let's try this paper. Some paper is finer than others. No idea how this is going to go. It kind of is it's very magical looking, and there's no exact right or wrong answer. You can build up a little bit of texture, but it's a very, very wonderful and easy way to cover a surface. Okay, so I'll just do a little more. You could do imagery, obviously, but with ripping, it is a little more of an abstracted thing. Okay, so that is ripping 101. I'm just going to move this to the side. And now the frame, I just used the same cardboard you have, and I cut out a piece. I just cut it out of the middle. And you can use scissors or not. If you have an X-Acto knife or a utility knife, you could use that. It's a little bit on the floppy side, but if you were going to put a picture in here and you wanted to really make it a frame, take another piece, and when you're done and you're putting whatever you're going to put in there, then you can tape or glue it together, and then you've got this really nice frame. You can figure out a way to hang it from the back, but for the moment, I'm just going to use the floppy piece with just one piece of cardboard. And one thing classroom teachers are always doing is looking for inexpensive ways to make, you know, gifts for Mother's Day and stuff like that, and Father's Day. So a picture frame, especially of a self-portrait, would be a really, really good way of doing that. So hold on, I don't want to get this. Oh, Teresa's here. Oh, wait, I just got, hold on, I got a letter in the room. I just got glue on my trackpad. Things not to do. Don't get glue on your trackpad. Teresa, did you come in? Did you get in? Let's see. Can anybody see if she's in the room? I can't see.
She's not in yet.
Is she's not in yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, let's see. Maybe she's, no, okay, she'll try to come back maybe.
Pastor, your camera's trying to autofocus again.
Yeah, you know, it's the mistake of moving anything. I have a whole lot here to focus on. As I say, by the time I finish this job, I'm going to know how to do it. All right, so so the picture frame is just the same as what I just showed you, except it's around a picture frame. So I'm going to keep that handy. And again, I prefer, this is just me, not to cut it, because I love that furry, beautiful edge. I don't know, we lost her somehow. Maybe she sometimes has technical difficulties. So, all right. So I'm not going to do a million pieces. I'm just going to give you a sense of what some of the possibilities are. But portraits of kids or portraits of your mom, those are always really like excellent ideas for gifts. But sometimes you do get stuck doing something because the school asks you to, and it's a little crafty. Now you can see here I'm letting a little bit of the wrinkles come in. That's okay. I like a certain amount of wrinkles, depending. Just not, I don't like those buds. Okay, and you can see here, now we're getting kind of a purpley coming together, and so you can do a little bit of color. You've got to be a little careful. You might want to work on wax paper or aluminum foil when you're doing this, because it is it's wanting to stick on the back, or you know, have some kind of way of propping it up on something. So I'm just going to put that aside, and we're going to move into the next part of this, which is, let's see if I can put that over there. All right. Basically making a collage out of this. So I think what I'm going to do for this is cut, just because I can. And wrinkly paper doesn't really matter. Wrinkly paper will resolve itself. So you can have wrinkly paper and it'll be fine. see. Let's see here. Things like flowers work really, really, really well. You can cover, cans of things, especially if they're painted white ahead of time, or vases. And let's see, I think I'm going to make a butterfly. I'll try to. Make a cicada. 17-year cicadas are coming out, and I will never forget that when I was in elementary school, that was one of the years, and all the boys would grab them and throw them down your sweater, and the back of your sweater, and it was quite something. Very noisy. I can't wait to sort of see what that's like. Okay, I'm just going to start my body up here, but you could do a little planning ahead of time. I'm not going to do the background to the very end, if at all. And never throw away any scrap. Even the smallest scrap has value. Okay, here. That's going to be good enough. And I don't know how long this would take. Might take more than 1 week because there would be some drying aspects depending on whether you're teaching art just once a week. Most art periods are like 40 minutes long, which is ridiculous because half of it is setup and cleanup. So an art period should be double. And I personally would rather have my students half the time, but a double period. Much more would get done. So I'm aware that butterflies have 2 pairs of wings, and I am going to have that reflected here. These are the top ones. Eric Carle worked in painted paper, but this is kind of a similar idea. You just build up your shapes accordingly. But what I want to do is put on some patterns here so you can see where this could head. While it's still a little bit wet, I can do that. And the glue will kind of give it a nice kind of glazy look, as if it were varnished. The body, the long skinny body, I guess that's the thorax, would be the last thing after I get the second pair of wings done. So see, this guy's bigger, the spot is bigger, that's okay. This is not, actually nature, you'll notice it's not perfectly symmetrical. I don't know if I need it yellow. I guess I should. I'll stick with my yellow. I'll stick with this yellow. Teresa must have been called away because she didn't try to come back in the room. All right. So if you are in the room right now and you do not have a lot of your things done for me, well, it's not for me, it's really for you. Just, know that we've got a good month left, I would say, but you can look online and see the syllabus and see where we're headed. I'm trying not to kind of go crazy and give you things that, I don't want to give you busy work. I want everything to kind of be sort of sequential and build so that your skills are, I mean, I can see it already, that many of you, your skills are so much better than they were at the beginning. It's very heartwarming to sort of see students who maybe haven't had a lot of art. I mean, some of you really have such a strong art background and others of you less so. That doesn't mean you can't make these things and teach these things. So far I haven't had a big problem with rippage, is that a word? Ripping, but it really could happen. So, and you see, even when I overlap one wing with another, I'm gonna let that wrinkle stay. I do get a slightly different color in there, that's fine. I just wanna put a body in there so that you can see what happens, you know, starts to come together better. And don't get all crazy with this, just enjoy it, have a good time, explore it. That's really what we're trying to do, is just explore. I don't want to give anybody an ulcer because I have all these expectations. So there you see the body. I used a nice dark color because what I wanted to do was maybe put some maybe some turquoise stripes on there. Let's see if I can cut some little pieces. No. Oh wait, don't stand there, you. Obviously yours are going to be so much better because you're going to take your time and not have your shapes too long. You know, this could be a little bit off. That's kind of charming, but you don't want it super asking a question. This one down here. Of course, we would add antennae, and I would add some other sorts of things. And let's put in a couple stripes down here. And, you know, antenna, more detail on the pattern of the butterfly. And then if you wanted, you could just do just some overlapping, lovely, and do it so that you can cut the edges later. In other words, just fill in here and there with a background color if you want to. Let's see, sort of like that. Here I'm kind of combining ripping with, because I have some of the edges are already ripped, but you'll see that at the end, you know, I would just, when it's dry, I would just cut this off so it would clean up and look better. All right. I didn't wear the gloves. I'm proud of myself. So I don't want to, you know, take the whole time doing this, but does anybody have any questions or comments or anything you want to ask about this? I'm only asking you to do one thing. So it's either an object or a flat piece with tissue paper. Anybody have something you want to say, ask? Hello? Is anybody there?
We're here.
You're so
We don't
quiet.
have anything to say.
My class is so noisy when we have it in real person, you know, it's just, oh my goodness. Sometimes like the people across the hall, I'll hear them not exactly slam the door shut, but they'll close the door, and I just know that we've been too loud. And I'm kind of like, oops. You know. Oops, 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 oops. Hey, you, get down. All right. Okay, this is only the beginning, but I think you can have a sense of where we're headed with it. Obviously, wash the glue brush when you're done. All right. So the lesson plan has the visual arts standards.
To control a video device with your voice, you need to connect it first.
There's
In the Alexa app, go to Settings, and then TV and Video to get started.
Can you imagine that Alexa somehow just butts in like that? I don't know what I said that made her do that, but I should have unplugged her. Okay, so on your lesson plan, you've got your standards, you've got your objectives, everything you'll need, essential questions, the procedure, how to teach it, and then you'll see on Blackboard, these are in color. They don't really look as good in black and white. So, all right. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is end the Zoom and then come back to you.
Okay.
Hey, here I come.